In 1953, a secret CIA operation shook the world and changed the fate of a nation forever. This covert operation, known as Operation Ajax, was orchestrated by the CIA with the help of British intelligence. The target? Iran's democratically elected Prime Minister, Mohammad Mossadegh. Mossadegh was a charismatic leader, beloved by his people for his nationalist policies and his vision for a free and independent Iran. His most daring move was the nationalization of Iran's oil industry, which had long been under the control of the British-owned Anglo-Iranian Oil Company. This bold action was seen as a direct threat to Western economic interests, particularly those of Britain, which relied heavily on Iranian oil. But the West wasn't happy. The British, who had been profiting immensely from Iran's oil, were outraged. They sought the help of the United States, which was eager to contain Soviet influence in the region during the Cold War. The CIA, under the direction of Kermit Roosevelt Jr., grandson of former President Theodore Roosevelt, devised a plan to overthrow Mossadegh and reinstate the Shah of Iran, Mohammad Reza Pahlavi, who had been a more compliant ally to Western interests. The CIA, in a covert mission known as Operation Ajax, meticulously planned the coup. They used propaganda, bribery, and intimidation to create unrest and turn public opinion against Mossadegh. They paid off Iranian officials, military officers, and even street thugs to incite violence and chaos. The goal was to make it appear as though Mossadegh's government was incapable of maintaining order, thereby justifying his removal. Backed by the CIA, a military coup was launched to overthrow Mossadegh. On August 19, 1953, tanks and soldiers took to the streets of Tehran. The coup was initially met with resistance, but the CIA's relentless efforts eventually paid off. Mossadegh was arrested and his government was toppled. The Shah, who had fled the country during the turmoil, was brought back to Iran and reinstated with absolute power. What followed was chaos. Mossadegh was arrested, tried, and sentenced to house arrest for the remainder of his life. Many of his supporters were imprisoned, tortured, or executed. Iran's brief experiment with democracy was crushed under the weight of foreign intervention. The Shah, now firmly in control, ruled with an iron fist. His regime was marked by widespread corruption, human rights abuses, and a brutal secret police force known as Savak, which suppressed any form of dissent. The Shah's oppressive rule led to growing discontent among the Iranian people. The gap between the rich and the poor widened, and the Shah's close ties with the West, particularly the United States, fueled anti-American sentiment. This discontent eventually culminated in the 1979 Iranian Revolution, a popular uprising that overthrew the Shah and established the Islamic Republic of Iran under the leadership of Ayatollah Khomeini. The Shah was reinstated with absolute power, leading to decades of oppression and setting the stage for the 1979 Iranian Revolution. The revolution was a turning point in Iranian history, leading to the establishment of a theocratic regime that has had a profound impact on the region and the world. The legacy of the 1953 coup is still felt today, as it set the stage for decades of tension between Iran and the West. The Shah's return to power marked the beginning of a new era in Iran, one characterized by rapid modernization and westernization, but also by political repression and social unrest. The Shah's efforts to modernize the country, known as the White Revolution, included land reforms, women's rights, and industrialization. However, these reforms were often implemented without regard for the traditional and religious values of the Iranian people, leading to widespread dissatisfaction. The 1979 Iranian Revolution was a culmination of years of pent-up frustration and anger. Millions of Iranians took to the streets to demand an end to the Shah's rule. The revolution was a diverse movement, bringing together various political, religious, and social groups with a common goal: to overthrow the Shah. Ayatollah Khomeini, who had been living in exile, returned to Iran and became the leader of the new Islamic Republic. The revolution not only changed the political landscape of Iran, but also had far-reaching implications for the entire Middle East. A single coup driven by oil and power, reshaped Iran and the world. The 1953 coup is a stark reminder of the lengths to which powerful nations will go to protect their interests. It serves as a cautionary tale about the dangers of foreign intervention and the long-term consequences it can have on a nation's sovereignty and stability. The events of 1953 have left an indelible mark on Iran's history and continue to influence its relations with the West to this day. And its consequences are still felt today. The legacy of the coup is evident in the ongoing tensions between Iran and the United States, the rise of anti-Western sentiment in the region, and the complex geopolitical dynamics of the Middle East. Understanding the history of the 1953 coup is crucial to comprehending the current state of affairs in Iran and the broader region. It is a story of power, betrayal, and the enduring struggle for control over one of the world's most valuable resources, oil. The Iranian coup, a story that changed everything. #history, #Iran, #CIA.